Hi everyone, welcome to the Rubrics Unpacked session for the Level 1 Quick Phonics Progression Assessment. I included the individual student profile cover just to show you what an individual student profile could look like printed out. Here is where you could write each student's name in their profile. Okay, first we have the individual student data profile for what can my sound make. This is where the students show an awareness that a sound can be made by more than one letter. So you'll notice here that, the letters are written down the left-hand side, the sounds I should say. So k, j, f, n, s, and g, or j. J. Across the top is the progression. So it's showing that students can identify one letter that can make the sound they hear. They might be able to identify two letters. They might be able to identify a digraph or two digraphs that can make that sound. The grey boxes here just show that those parts of the rubrics don't apply to that particular sound. So here we might have that a child has written down the letter K to show that they know that the k sound can be made by a K. If they've written down two letters that could make the k sound, they may have written the letter C and the letter K. If they can show one digraph that makes the k sound, they might have written CK, and so on. And the bottom is a keynote section so that you can write down any attitudes to learning dispositions or habits you may notice in the students. This is really important and valuable because if you do notice any issues like that, it is something that we can help the children with, and it is something that will help their learning. So it's important to note those things down. Over here, we have the vowel sound ID assessment, which is just simply a checklist where you can tick off that they've said the long sound for each vowel and the short sound for both uppercase and lowercase. Here we have a rubric for the children reading one-syllable words ending in a double consonant. So let's have a look at the progression of reading these words. Initially, some students might be reading h, I, l. They're isolating every single sound in that word. So we'd give them a tick if they're doing that because at least it shows that they have phonic knowledge. Next, we want the children to know that they do not have to say the ul sound twice in a word. H, I, ul, but they're still isolating those sounds. We really want the children to be blending through those sounds to be more accurate and fluent and to keep that whole word in their mouth so they're able to reread the word once they've blended through it. H, il. If they're able to blend, we give them a tick. What we really want the children to be able to do is blend h, il, and then say hill. So that's how you would tick them off for each of those points in the rubric. Again, over here, we've got a checklist. So you just give the kids a tick for each digraph that they can identify. And here, when they are reading words with digraphs in them, we've got the rubric again, and the words are actually listed down the side. So it will help you sort of start to see a pattern emerge if they are having more trouble with some digraphs than others. For example, if a child is reading the word shop, initially they might read s, h, o, p, even though they were able to recognize the sh digraph on its own. We want the kids to recognise that sh digraph in a word, and we want them to be able to blend through it. So we want them to say shop. We want them to be able to reread the word shop. If the children are looking at the word shop and they're automatically reading it, they've got it. Keep doing a couple of other words with different digraphs in it just to see how they go. Otherwise, just progress them along the continuum to find out where their optimal point of intervention is. Over here, we've got the segmenting of CCVC digraph words. So we have a spelling template, which you'll see, and you can just tick off if the kids have been able to segment the digraphs as one sound. So for example, in the word shop, we hear sh, o, p. So we want the kids to write it as 3 sounds, and you'll see in the circles that they've got the opportunity to write SH in one circle, O in another, and P in another. And again, with the rubric here for reading, it's very similar. It just goes through the progression of children reading those words and what they might do during reading, all the way up to the children being able to use their chunking strategy, running, and then being able to automatically read the word running. Moving on to the whole class data profile, you can write your class name in here, as there's only you only need to print off one copy of the whole class data profile. Some of you may actually prefer to write the data straight into the whole class profiles. It will save you time, but you do get more information when you fill in the individual student data profile and then the whole class as well, but it's up to you. So here we have room on the left for the children's initials. If you do it in roll order, it will help you easily identify which student is who. And you've got the same rubric at the top, but you've just got those sounds there at the bottom, so you can tick off for each sound for each part of the rubric. Okay, this is an important one. With the vowels, you have the vowels in the uppercase and the lowercase. Within each vowel letter, there is L and S. L stands for long sound, S stands for short sound. So you can give them a tick for long and short if they get both correct for each letter. Okay, and here there's, again, for the floss words, which are the one-syllable words with the double consonant at the end, you can write the student's name on the left and just give them a tick for the words they can read. Again, you will get much more information from your individual student profile, but this will allow you to pick up a trend in the whole class and know what your focus could be. Same, it's just a checklist for the consonant digraph sound ID. Again, you're going to get a very, very clear snapshot of the digraphs your students are all over and the ones they need work on. And it's the same. So you're starting to realise that the structure is very similar and all of the rubrics are set up to be similar as well, so they're easy to use. All right, and then it finally brings us to the student goals and groups. So once you've got your data collated in the whole class data sheet, you are then easily able to find where the student's optimal point of intervention is or their optimal goal is. You'll know this as children start to have a breakdown of 50% correct and 50% incorrect within one of the assessments. That is the optimal goal point. When you find that, or roughly around about that percentage, you can put the student's name beside that goal. And when you map your whole class onto this, you already have your groups, the students' goals, and you can start to plan some really fantastic pull-out groups to help your children achieve that goal and move along the continuum.